Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On this week's episode, we're covering the truck stop killer.
Yeah, watch where you park.
Yeah, as Dave said, anything with truck stop in front of it is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing, yeah.
Less than desirable.
That's right. So don't forget to leave us that 5-star rating wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple, Google. On Apple, you can leave us a written review, really help us out. And sit back, relax, and enjoy the truck stop killer.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor.
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
Where every week we cover a true crime,
Murder.
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back down to the Old Dirty Basement. I am Matt. As always is Dave and Zap. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man.
Good. Hey, today this one was from the Dave archives.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are going to think I'm a sicko for this one, but I wanted to get back into that serial killer, all that true crime, that type stuff. So,
There's counseling for that, Dave.
Yeah, I know, but I know people do enjoy these, although they are disturbing, and I get it.
Different strokes for different folks.
Right.
This guy's he's not a regular guy.
No, not at all.
Not even close.
Right. So who are we doing today? Who wants to take the reins on this one?
Yeah. Well, this is Robert Ben Rhoades.
Good old Bobby Ben, Robert Benjamin Rhoades.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
A.K.A. the truck stop killer.
Yeah, and I was thinking about truck stop. There's nothing you can put after truck stop that's good. I was thinking about that.
No.
Like truck stop bathroom, truck stop restaurant. Like I was trying to think of something that's good.
Wait, I'm losing you.
Like with truck stop before anything, it doesn't seem to be good.
Yeah.
So you put truck stop before.
There's nothing appealing.
Like
at
truck
all.
stop burrito.
Right.
Truck stop bathroom.
Truck stop chili.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Truck stop lounge lizard.
Right. Nothing good. So
Lot lizard.
there's a lot of those.
What did I?
You said lounge.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm still stuck in Cannonball Run, thinking about how badly I want a '70s lounge back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the lounge lizards, they exist.
Yes,
they're
I'm sorry.
just like the lot.
In this case,
except in the lounge.
this is a lot lizard.
Have you guys spent any time at like our local truck stop hanging out? The one out on 39 there?
The love's out there. I think they got a whole lot of love.
Yeah.
I no. So I'm sure that I've stopped at truck stops
Right.
for petroleum distillate, maybe run in, grab a soda. I don't know.
Right.
At best, but no.
I had a group of friends that used to like to go there to play the pinball machines. And they'd go there
Nice.
and hang out, and there was a convenience store there. This is when you're young, like, 19, 20 or whatever.
What stop was that?
Out on 39.
On 39?
The truck stops there. Yeah, it's a big one. I mean, there's
What's the
on
one
both
going
sides.
in the Duncannon before you get to like the Red Rabbit? They have like 3 strip joints.
Those, yeah,
like
all those strip johns. Yeah,
yeah, like an adult club.
Yeah, there's is there a truck stop up there?
yeah.
There's a big one.
So there's a Sheets,
Mm-hmm.
which by virtue of its size qualifies as a truck stop.
I guess,
But
yeah.
What Matt's talking about, that's definitely a thing. I don't know if it's a Flying J or
One of them.
Oh, yeah, okay, up
or
further.
a Pilot.
I do know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
It's in if you're going up to like Sunbury out there and you're heading up that way.
Yeah, that's got to be like the horniest stretch of road in our area.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's pretty riddled with that stuff, but
It does say like truckers welcome.
mm-hmm. Well, I can see where this
course.
guy today would fit in perfectly up there. I
Oh
think.
my God, yeah. Oh my God, yes. So yeah, today we've got Robert Benjamin Rhoades, the truck stop killer. Robert Benjamin Rhoades was born on November 22nd, 1945 in Council Bluffs, Iowa. His father was a soldier in the Army and was stationed in West Germany at the time, which left only his mom to raise him in his early years. His dad returned from his station when old Bobby Ben was in elementary school.
Now, how was Pops? I know he was a military guy, but was he abusive or anything?
I think we'll get into that. Here.
Okay.
I have a feeling.
Was he abusive?
No, well, I don't know about abusive to the son, but I'm sure there's something you have there.
Oh, I'm sure I do.
Yeah.
A little bit later in life.
Yep.
And here's also a father military, and I'm sure we'll get into his life too. But you're starting out with a military dad,
right? And it sounds like he wasn't there for like the early years and stuff like that.
His biological didn't bother him
Not at all.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He cared about money.
Yeah.
Rufus was his father. What is it? So I know the song. What is it? Phil was my father?
Yeah, Phil was my father.
Phil was my father. All right. So meanwhile, back to old Robert Benjamin Rhoades, old Bobby Ben. So from what I can find, his early life was just relatively normal. Like, his formative years. I mean, he made his way, high school, grew up, did well, went to high school, played football.
He was quite an athlete.
Was into wrestling. He was in choir. He was even in French club.
Oh, wow.
Your mom's in French club.
Yeah, right.
That's odd. Like, you don't. This is a new one. I don't know if it's part of the what was it, Dahmer?
The McDahmer triad.
The McDahmer triad.
Yeah.
Where
taking a French class or
not
French club.
Not French kissing, just French club.
No.
Frenchin'.
What do you do in French club? It just
You learn French.
like French, like culture, I guess. Is that what it is?
So when we were coming up, what did we have at?
We had chess club. We were in chess club.
Stop. What languages other than English did we have at McDevitt? We had
Latin,
or not
Spanish.
Latin, Spanish. Yeah.
Well, so
we did have Latin. Yeah,
I
you're
took
right.
Latin,
German.
so I had Latin for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, we did have
Then
English
it was
class.
Spanish. Then it was Spanish, and there was French, wasn't there?
Yes, there was French there.
Okay.
I'm almost certain. I would think so. I don't remember.
I don't know.
So
We could
long.
get we know
Yeah.
people at McDevitt. We can get some
Right.
people on the horn.
Well, by now they probably have the whole rainbow
think
coalition of languages.
There's
there.
like Mandarin.
Mandarin. That'd be wonderful. Swahili.
Yeah, there's anything pretty much. If you want to take it,
They have a club for it.
they'll have a club.
Yeah.
I was in Sam's Club. I belong there. Back.
Membership has its privileges.
That's right.
Where buying in bulk is your God-given right.
It is.
So not like so many teenagers. This guy had a couple of minor incidents with the police.
Mhm.
I mean, but again, who hasn't had a run-in or two with the cops? I mean,
Right.
really.
What was he? He stole? Was that what he did? Or
So
was that later on in life?
at 16 years old, he was arrested in 1961 for tampering with a vehicle. And then he was arrested a year later in 62 at the age of 17 for public fighting.
Public fighting. Well, those are 2 crimes I've never heard.
Yeah, reverse on it.
Tampering with a vehicle.
Tampering with a vehicle and public
I
fighting.
could see tampering as trying to steal a vehicle or looking like you're attempting to do something to a
Like
vehicle.
Tampering, like, just seems
Would he
like,
tag it? Like, remember
like
that was big when we were kids? Like,
put the wipers up.
He had a big marker or turn the stereo up on his mom's car. She turned it on. She's like, God damn it.
You got me again.
Call the cops.
That's just
Absolutely,
I've never heard that.
That sounds like some kind of throwaway piece of shit
Mm-hmm.
regulation.
And this is in Iowa.
This is in Iowa.
Maybe it's local. I don't know. Maybe it's just something they do there. And then the other one's public fighting.
Public fighting.
So if you fight in your house, you're good.
Yeah.
I get-
Or if nobody's watching.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, I do have the Law 20107 injuring or tampering with a vehicle.
Oh,
You can injure a vehicle.
Yes.
Oh.
Any person who either individually or in association with one or more other persons willfully injures or tampers with any vehicle or breaks or removes any parts or parts from the vehicle without the consent of the owner is guilty of a Class 2 misdemeanor injuring or tampering with vehicle.
okay.
Now,
So that makes sense. So that's like, I mean, you're fucking
when
with
we were
somebody's
kids, we
personal
used to-
property.
You
Right, you're
used to
right.
take the, like when they had the things on the front, like a Mercedes emblem, stuff like
take
that.
them off.
Yeah.
The Beastie Boys with
Yeah,
the
he could have been with the Volkswagen. He
symbols,
might
all
have
that
been
stuff.
trying to make a Beastie Boys something.
Back to that, talking about injuring a vehicle, like saying the vehicle's alive. My wife gets on me on this. I got to ask you guys, do you call like vehicles, do you give them female names? You ever, you've heard of that, right? People
Yeah.
say she's running well, she's doing this. She hates that.
Why?
And I don't know.
That's
and
loving.
and
It's
even
like
her
endearing.
friends, a couple of her friends that had said, "Oh no, I've heard that." or
Is it
I've
like a
said that."
sexist thing now?
I don't know. No, I don't think that's it. It just annoys her, and I think it's funny. And my daughter, like, we do it just to like egg her on.
Of course.
My daughter will be in the back. Dad, how's she running? Oh, she's doing good. This and that.
So what's amazing, I know dudes and chicks,
Mm-hmm.
both of them will refer to their vehicle with a female name.
Yes.
Mhm.
Conversely, you would think maybe that chicks would refer to their vehicles with it as a dude's name,
Right.
but they don't.
No, they don't. No.
So all vehicles are inherently some sort of female name.
Female name, yeah.
I think it was more of an endearing thing because, like, ooh, she's running now, or like she's really purring,
Or she's
like,
a beauty. you know.
yeah.
I don't know. It was just something bringing up that, thinking about injuring a car made me think of like equating it to a human.
My pap code is. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's what I just wanted to ask you guys.
Yeah,
about.
my pap code is we had like a 82 Pontiac or whatever he had, but the name was Old Betsy. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's just it was Old Betsy.
That's okay. Just wanted your guys' opinion. Now
My wife refers to her car as Gert.
Oh yeah,
Old Gert.
the Volvo.
The Volvo.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does Gert mean?
Like Gertrude.
Oh, Gertrude.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about the Pontiac?
My old Pontiac?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Did you have a name or
No.
no?
So, and that's
Christine.
So
But not even a nickname?
So
or-
and I was going to get to that too. So you may do it. You know,
Uh-huh.
Tom, Dick, or Harry might do it. I don't think I've ever done that.
Okay.
And every time I've gotten a new vehicle, someone has said, "Oh, what's her name? What do you call her?" But,
Right.
oh, shit, I guess I got to think something up.
Didn't even think about it. Okay, I got you.
You've never done it. It's just never done it.
Never came up.
From the internet, it says that English ships were always referred to as females, which then in time just led into
To cars.
to cars and other vehicles.
I got you.
So the English, they want to give it some Zulu's name.
Some zoo.
Right.
That doesn't make sense though, because I thought women were unlucky at sea,
Ah,
or
so
having a woman on board was not lucky.
it said
I never heard that.
as in English, ships were always referred to as females, which then propagated to aircraft and probably to land vehicles.
Mm.
Well, how about that? Cash me outside. How about that?
It
That's
says
right.
it here, which I mean, it's on the internet. It may not be true.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Mm.
So, despite this guy's run in with the law for public fighting and injuring a vehicle, he ended up graduating from Thomas Jefferson High School in Council Bluffs in 1964. Right after, he joined the Marine Corps.
There we go.
So, there is
The triad.
the McDomer Triangle. The
No, but we're
McDomer
adding-
Triad right there.
No, we're adding to it now. Wouldn't it be the square?
No, so I thought we had made a pyramid because a triangle is
so we're
just,
doing the-
you know,
Oh, we're adding to stacks. of the
two-dimensional. Now we're
pyramid.
going three-dimensional.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
Because we need to get like, what are they?
If we want to keep it two-dimensional,
psychiatrists on the horn.
By
about this.
now we're in some sort of trapezoid,
Right.
at least.
Like
but
the
it's a thing. It really, the military is a thing. I believe.
it's linked to it, you're saying?
Yeah. From what? How many times have we mentioned?
There's a chicken and egg thing. One could argue either way.
Yeah.
So one could say, look, man, if we've talked about this, A implies B, so A must imply C. Not
Math.
necessarily true. So one could say chicken, Army. So Army came first, or I should say military came first. Therefore, there is a strong likelihood that he or she is going to be a serial killer.
Right.
Conversely, one could say that they were going to be a serial killer anyway. However, they learned tactics, they learned this, that, and the other thing by virtue of having been in the military.
Mm. Makes sense.
I don't
Like
know.
choking techniques and things like that,
Yeah.
so forth and so on.
Yeah, silent movement,
Mhm.
stalking,
Ninja.
ninja is absolutely right.
That's a class.
Why isn't there like a ninja division?
Ninja division in the army, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
in the military. So they got what? They got special ops, they got
Mhm.
black ops, they got Navy SEALs, they got whatever. Why don't they have, the Navy ninjas?
Navy
Ninja. Did you guys have ninja stars growing up?
I did.
Oh yeah, they were.
Used to
they
get
were
them at the Big M.
biggest thing, yeah, back then.
Had a whole guy that had a shop.
So Big M, which later became Saturday's Market.
Yes, you get the fresh Utz chips.
Yeah. They would
Everything.
scoop them
Yeah,
in there.
that's old
Or
school.
you would go to Broad Street was always the market
Yeah,
for you guys.
that's still around. Well, actually, I would go to Klein Village,
Oh.
where I grew up.
Mm.
Yeah, but I did go to the Big M, and I remember that the fresh Utz chips, they'd scoop them, and yeah,
I do remember that.
The place was so gnarly.
it was.
It was so dirty.
I remember I saved $3 and like 48 cents, and I didn't have enough to get a butterfly knife. My dad's like, "What are you getting?"
I was
think,
so pissed.
I think it was 6 something. And back in the 80s, man, that's big money.
That is big money.
That's a
money.
lot of lawns, man.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "What do you need?" I was like, "Dad, I don't got enough." He's like, "What are you getting?" He thought I was getting one of them stars. I was like, "No,
Ninja stars.
I want the butterfly knife." And he was like, "Hell no,
No.
I'm getting that."
Shut
No
it down.
I'm like,
You'll cut your eye out.
yeah, you'll cut your neck off. I was like, all right, whatever.
Cut your neck off. Oh, man. So, let's see.
A lot of people don't know what a butterfly knife is, actually, who are probably listening. I hope they do. but maybe not.
They've seen the movies. They
Yeah.
got to know what a
Okay.
butterfly
Or you flip it
knife is.
open.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like its own little.
Sweet.
It's like its own little nunchuck in and of
Mhm.
itself. It's a transformer.
Right. Basically, yeah, you're right.
So, dude joins the Marine Corps. Blah blah blah. Oh, however, back to Matt. Not long after he joined the Marine Corps, his dad was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old
There
girl.
it is. Yes.
Yep.
And alas, while his father was awaiting trial, the father, committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yeah,
we
I think
go.
there was another girl that came forward too. So there was a and it was piling up on him a little bit. So
I mean, a little bit.
well, yeah. I mean, one's enough.
That's
but,
some pressure alone.
right. I don't know back then. What year was this?
This would have been in 64.
Yeah, I'm assuming they still approach that. Like we went through that with Wernos. Remember, like she
Mhm.
was
Oh,
abused,
yeah.
and it almost seemed like that kind of got brushed under the rug, or it wasn't really addressed. But I'm assuming back then, I would hope you're going to do some serious time.
And how old was Robert? He was back from the military, you said, or while he was there?
So he graduated high school 64. Right out of high school, he joined the military. And then not long after that, his father got arrested for the bad touches,
Right.
for touching the little girls.
So
So let's call it 64. Let's call it late
Right.
64.
So growing up, his dad had to have been somewhat of a weirdo to be doing stuff like that.
Oh, my God,
So
yeah.
he, another one of them things also, or like a product of your environment growing up. Is it
Mhm.
something that he saw his dad doing? Was his dad, did he see like any kind of like magazines? I don't know.
It's got to mess you up. I mean,
Oh, my
I don't
God.
know how it went in some way. I mean, I'm sure you could work through it with therapy and stuff like that, but I don't know if they were doing that back then. And this guy obviously didn't get therapy. I think we'll learn that.
No, he didn't. He definitely didn't get there. He definitely didn't get there. Speaking of not getting there, alas, he didn't. So back to Bobby Ben with his dad dead. I think Matt had mentioned this earlier. He was involved in a robbery in 1967, and he ended up being dishonorably discharged from the military.
which is another check on the box, or
Yeah.
The
Kicked out of
McDomer
the
triangle, the
Army.
McDomer
Yes.
triad. Yeah.
Right.
not even in that. It's just something that you would hear. Usually, a dishonorable discharge you hear from people that we say these
Mhm.
compelling stories about.
You know, if us three are sitting here figuring this out, you got to imagine that these FBI profilers and stuff maybe are looking at that type stuff. I mean, obviously, I think they would be.
By now, for sure.
Yeah, you
All they
know.
do is look at
I
your
don't know.
internet searches. Pretty much.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so the fact that so the three of us were all basically the same age, give or take a couple of months. We've all seen the shows. We've all seen the movies.
Mhm.
We've all seen all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, we're come to these conclusions, and we're trying to piece together these things. We're not the only ones doing this.
No. Yeah.
People are paid for this.
I watch Criminal Minds, you know, so I'm pretty much an expert.
I wonder if they all sit around with the old Roadcaster,
Yeah,
sitting there with
coming up with
headphones on.
theories and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we almost
That
cracked
would
the Zodiac. I mean, we
Oh.
were close.
We were damn close
Yeah,
on Zodiac,
and-
man.
and- yeah,
That's a great idea. We can start getting into some like of the unsolved. I think that'd be something good
Mhm.
to put out there. Maybe we can
yeah.
meld our minds together and figure something out.
Try to figure it out.
Crack a case
Mhm.
or just crack cocaine.
One or the other.
Wait, yes,
Yes.
on the
I got an idea for a great episode. Now, this is going to be off track, but
is it on the Idaho killings recently? The college kids.
No, but I would like to maybe do that. That's a good one, actually. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm behind on that because I'm researching or looking at what we're doing with this stuff,
Yeah, they got it on
movies and
PA,
all
right?
that. So I'm out of the loop on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank you.
aware of it, but do you ever play those games, Hunt a Killer? It's a box game you get.
Clue.
It's called Hunt a Killer.
Oh.
It comes as a kit. You get this kit, and you basically, we did it at the beach on vacation. They give you all these clues, and there's different things.
Oh, I thought you meant like you, like or Dexter.
No.
Like here's a rope. We got
Right.
a trash bag.
No, nothing like a board game like that. This is-
That's awesome. I got to get that
Yeah,
game.
we got to get
Yeah.
Hunt a Killer.
No,
Anyway.
this is actually like a game where you get all these clues, and I mean it took us about probably 2-3 hours of
Mhm.
playing it. Like the one night and the next night, I got one of the simpler ones because it's my kids and stuff and us. But it's cool. You
Blame the
figure out this crime, and you go through, and it's down to like you cannot look over anything and just disregard it. There was a phone number on a book of matches. Like you think that really? Let's try calling it. You call it. There's a clue. Like every little thing in this box
That's awesome.
is legit, and you got to figure it out and solve this crime. We should get one of those and do like a podcast, just like a bonus episode where we crack the, you know what I mean, do it on air and like record it. I think it'd be
that's not
cool
a bad
to break
idea.
it down, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because we just talking about that, like us being detectives and trying to figure this stuff out. I think that might be interesting.
It's like
I hope
some-
nobody takes that idea. I might have to edit it out, you know. But
It's like something they do with like the New York Police Department, because they really can't figure anything out, so they give
Thinking
stuff to
real
people.
crimes, yeah.
Like, hey, if you figure this out,
make it like a fake crime, but it's really real.
That's awesome.
Let the people work.
yeah, like, oh man, I can't figure this out.
I'm
What do
just
we
thinking
do?
about that, like the New York Times, crossword.
Mhm.
Instead, the police put out
Clues.
all of these unsolved mysteries, and in reality, it's like their truth lying.
Right.
We're just putting this out there for fun. Go ahead, have fun with this.
See if you can figure it out.
And at the end, thanks.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's a good idea, though.
Yeah. Why not?
I think we should do that.
Yeah, I like that.
So after his dishonorable discharge for his involvement in a robbery, he gave college a shot,
Mm-hmm.
but he dropped out. He tried to join law enforcement, but he was rejected for the dishonorable discharge. He ended up finding just odd jobs in stores, supermarkets, warehouses, restaurants.
Wherever they were hiring, pretty much. He's going through the paper, hiring here. Let me grab that job. I needed money.
So you're basically coming out with not only a high school education, but now I'm saying, so if that's your pinnacle of your education level, and plus that scarlet letter of having been dishonorably discharged, like, you are hard pressed to find work.
Right. Because that has to be, when you go to apply, that has to be divulged. Like, you have to tell them, right?
So I think back in the day you did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nowadays I don't want to say it's don't ask, don't tell, but there's so much, like, employment law has gone bananas. Like, there's so many things you can't ask and you can ask and you can't do, but you can do. Like, for example, a prospective employer, if they call your former employer to, say, like back in the day, they would call for a reference, right? What was known as a reference. They would call your last employer. Hey, how does this guy, is he a good guy? Tell me about this guy. By law, okay, I'm not going to say by law, but the general practice anymore by any one of those former employers to avoid any possible lawsuits by that person that's looking for this new job, the former employer is basically going to say, yeah, this person worked here from this day till this day. That's it.
That's all they're going to tell
That's all they're going to do.
So they can't say they were a shit worker, or they didn't do their job, or they didn't show up for work.
Nope. No, they can't, because they'll get sued. They will absolutely get sued.
That makes sense, though. I mean, I can see where that's something now that,
Sure. But lo and behold, after varying jobs, this guy decided to knuckle down and make a career for himself, find a career for himself, and he found it. He became a long-haul trucker.
Oh, there it is.
A long-haul trucker. So you can see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
So I've mentioned this guy before. A friend of mine is a long-haul trucker. He drives for UPS.
UPS, yes. I remember you telling me.
They drive in teams. And, I mean, the ground that these guys cover, again, driving in teams, like the truck never stops.
It's like the Cannonball Run.
Essentially.
Yeah.
It's like they'll stop maybe to get a meal, but they're sleeping in their truck, man.
Right. I'd rather watch that than
The trucks, sure, why not?
Back to that.
Yeah, but that was the whole reason that they were built like that. Many of those trucks, they think it's like these guys now, they stay overnight because they got to drive 12 hours. But there was like, back in the day, there was none of that shit.
No.
Like these guys drove. Now, like, all the stuff's monitored.
They have cameras in there.
Yeah, but like Zat was saying, you would just go and like you'd pull over for a minute, or when you got gas, you would switch and you just keep going. The other guy, hey man, I'm okay. I slept for 6 hours. Switch. Yeah, they're running like from here, California, and back.
Right.
Just doing it.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, long haul trucking. Do it. So just for all of the fans out there, just so we all know what long haul trucking is. So long haul trucking is defined as covering a distance of more than 250 miles.
Oh, really?
That is small.
Yeah.
However, most long haul drivers are logging more than 1,000 miles across many states.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are often away from home from days, if not weeks, on end.
Wait, you said 250?
So 250 is that's the definition. That's the breaking point of long haul trucking.
Damn. So like, hey, hon, I got to run out to Pittsburgh today. I got a long haul.
They consider that whatever the powers that be.
Yeah, the trucking
who define
conglomerates.
this. And now, of course, there's going to be different employers, different people, different this, that, and the other thing that define it different ways.
But that's all federally regulated now, isn't it? Like, I think they all have to be on the same page. I don't think, like Joey's trucking stop run, and
Truck and
Bobby's
stop run.
Bobby's Bobby's truckers. Like I think they all have to follow federal guidelines,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I just believe that to be true.
It might be. Yeah.
I've checked a couple of sources because I saw that 250 and that seemed way off.
Yeah.
But apparently 250 is the number.
Seems light.
It does seem light.
Yeah.
That seems very light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm due for a job change here.
Yeah.
The fuck do I
Long
know?
haul trucker.
Well, during his long hauls, during his trucking career, he inevitably married and he had a son. Alas, he divorced his first wife, he married again, divorced his second wife, and then he married again.
So 3 times.
3 times.
Wow.
Did he just had one son?
One son, first wife.
No, yeah, I guess I thought his son or daughter.
3 wives, 1 son.
Yeah, and he was like 41 on that third wife. So it was,
He went through them quick.
a little later in life, but yeah. Well, I mean, I think we know where we're going without getting anything too much away, but I could see why the marriages didn't last. I mean, if the real guy comes out,
He wasn't really in marriages for the long haul.
Absolutely not.
Well played, sir.
Yes.
So so think about that, man. I mean, like if you're away from home for days, if not weeks on end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of home life is that?
Yeah, not good.
I mean, so like I work a lot and there are times like, I'm coming home later in the evening or whatever, but still I'm home every goddamn night.
Right.
I'm home on the weekends. I'm home all of the time. Like if I'm not working or doing something else, I'm at home.
Right.
This guy is out of the goddamn state away from his home.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard on a marriage.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So now finally, shit gets real.
Uh-oh.
With a name like the Truck Stop Killer, you can pretty much guess what's coming here. So his first confirmed victims was in January of 1990. Douglas Zyskowski and his wife, Patricia Candace Walsh.
No, they were hitchhikers, correct or no?
They were hitchhiking, and old Bobby Ben picked them up in his truck while on one of his long hauls.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he picked him up, he immediately killed Douglas, the dude, dumped his body in Sutton County, Texas.
Was it a stabbing or a shooting?
To my knowledge, stabbing.
Okay.
Okay.
To my knowledge, but again,
You don't have to say. We'll just say. If
I'm
somebody
not
catches
saying
us.
I'm not saying with absolute certainty.
Right.
And again, it was the first of a few victims to come.
And he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
The victim is dead. Dumped his body in Sutton County, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
However, that body wasn't identified until 1992.
Like bones,
Bones and shit, whatever,
Yeah.
the
DNA.
corpse,
Mm-hmm.
corpsey. Patricia, however, was held for more than a week. So
In the truck.
In the truck. He held her for more than a week. He tortured her, raped her numerous times, killed her, then left her body in Millard County, Utah.
Oh my God.
So let's, again, real easy. I mean, this is long haul trucker, shotgun killer. What?
Yeah.
Not shotgun killer, but I mean, when you have that mobility and that ability, and it's hitchhikers, who gives a
Yeah.
shit?
Nobody's
you
looking
hit it.
for him.
Yeah, you hit it on nail on the head. I guess is something stupid to say, but yeah, because you're a long haul trucker. You're driving these distances. You're throwing these people out who have no families. Nobody's looking for them, like you
Right.
just said. There's nothing that and cops are like kind of like, a transient. I think they call them.
Yep.
So any one of the three of us, right? If we kill somebody in Harrisburg, we're probably going to dump them in Harrisburg.
Right.
These truckers, or I should say not these truckers, I take that back to all
Yes.
truckers out there.
Right.
This particular trucker, he doesn't give a shit. And again, he's got a cab behind him. He's got a sleeping area behind him. He could just keep the bodies back there to throw off whomever.
Right.
He'll be in another state in less than a day.
It was actually like the perfect for what he wanted to do. It's
Absolutely.
it's the perfect.
But these
I was,
Creates
go ahead.
it's almost impossible to make a trail for that.
I was thinking back to when he was trying to become a police officer. That would have been dangerous too with that power and that that makes sense. Maybe that there was another serial killer. I think it was Edmund Kemper that tried to go into the law enforcement and police. And I don't know if these guys do it for that reason, knowing that they have
can
that,
like kill legally.
right, kill legal, not legally, but murder and kind of be on the inside, like like they'll know where leads are going, and maybe they'd be the last one you'd look at if you're like nah, Officer Kemper would never you know what I mean, that type stuff.
Well, a while ago there was I think it was a Netflix, I'm not sure what the movie was called, but there was this guy who would call into like a McDonald's or a Burger King, and he would say,
love McDonald's, by the way.
he would say he's a cop, and he just saw footage of your employee there. She took money out of the cash register. Hold her there, I'll be in, I'm on my way. So like these ladies or whatever, the people that own these McDonald's are like, oh my God, like what did you do? So they're holding him. This guy's like pretending he's a lieutenant, and he comes in and he's there with the woman. He's like, well, you need to strip or I'm taking you to jail. And this girl was like 17. So she's like,
oh my God,
freaking out. It's actually, it's a true story. And he did it numerous times until he was caught.
that's crazy.
Kip Winger would love her.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, this
He
guy,
brought
like
that.
like these women, he would tell them, hey, I need you to strip. I think you have something on you. And he would tell like the managers, like, you need to step out. This is now like a crime scene investigation. And people,
And they'd
they
fall
didn't know.
for it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
Yeah,
usually kids. The manager's probably like 19.
right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I
But-
worked at a Burger King, and I know, I can see where.
Can you see like some guy just coming? Yeah, he has like a fake badge saying
Yeah.
a crime scene. I need to talk. But it came to the point where like he had her perform oral sex.
Dang.
She was that because she didn't want her parents to get like pissed off because she was stealing. Like he was going to say, we're telling everybody.
But she didn't. She really didn't
she
steal
didn't.
anything.
She didn't do anything.
That's horrible.
But this
Wow.
guy with the power of persuasion, saying he's like a lieutenant. But he did this numerous times, like 4 or 5 times. He struck before he was
I
caught.
did see that on the Netflix page, and I know what you're talking. I haven't watched it yet, but I didn't
I saw
realize
it's-
that's what it was.
It's a true story. It's a crazy, crazy story.
And this guy got a blowy J from some girl that he was accusing as pretending to be a cop,
Yes.
and she never did anything. She
didn't
never
do
stole
She
anything.
didn't do anything.
She was scared, probably.
That's amazing.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
He's like, I got to call your parents. They're going to come in here. How embarrassing that's going to be.
He's like Bad Lieutenant. Remember that
Yeah,
movie with
like-
Harvey Keitel?
yeah, with Harvey
Did you ever
Keitel.
see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he pulls those girls over.
To be clear, I have not seen it, but I am familiar with the name.
Right. Well, that was his whole gimmick. He was, but he was actually really a cop. But he would use his power to get
Just
what he
fuck
wanted.
with people.
Right.
or like
he
he'll
would
see
just
like
mess
two,
with
yeah, like let me see you kiss. Or like what? What are you talking? He's like, all right, we're going in the station. I'm taking you in.
Damn.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That is in fact a bad lieutenant.
So thank God this guy did not become a cop, because he would have probably definitely
you,
been abusing
Jesus.
the power.
8 pound, 10 ounce baby Jesus. Thank you.
All wrapped and swaddled. Your clothes.
Flying on an eagle. So goes Douglas and Patricia. Almost a month later, he abducts this 18-year-old girl, Shayna Holtz. Now he abducts her, and she escaped. Now this is not far off from like some of the stuff Matt was talking about. It's not far off. It's off, but it's not far off. So she escaped. She runs to the police. The police find this dude. They find old Bobby Ben and they arrest him. She declined to press charges.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
scared.
I heard that one. Yeah, that was wild.
She
She froze kind of.
She initially had said, well, look, it's just going to be a matter of I have no proof, so it's going to be he said, she said.
Right.
And I just can't. I have no evidence other than my words that he did this.
No, I was thinking about that because I did read that part. You would think that because he had her captive for a few days.
A few
right?
days,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
in the back
didn't
of
you
the
think like
truck?
Well, I don't know what year this is, but like DNA, like rape kit evidence, that stuff.
This
that
would have been this is early 1990,
So I would imagine by then they had that stuff. Maybe not.
like February 90.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure on that, but I was just thinking like rape kits and stuff. Like
Did
we
he-
talked about that and other things they would have been able to, because I'm sure that
Did this guy use condoms and stuff though? Like there were
I
some.
don't know.
I
I
didn't
don't
read
know.
anything about that because there were some people that do this. Serial killers that you read about.
they cover their tracks.
They
and
would,
stuff.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
Right. And then, I mean, he could have said, I guess what she's saying maybe is he could have said it was consensual. And,
Or no,
this
say
and
this
that.
this girl's a hooker. Like, what are you saying? I raped
Right.
her? No, I paid her for sex.
Correct. It could have gone
Yeah.
It could have gone
South.
immediately backwards on her.
Right.
Like, who's this? Oh hell no! Who's that bitch?
Yeah, just kind of flipped it on her.
No, yeah, just say, hey, I paid her $27 or
Yeah.
$50. She
She's
stayed
just
the
some
night.
Skanky hoe.
Right. But you would
and
think in
that's
his
that.
truck, they would look in his truck and find all that.
What would they find? Though? You didn't have
Well,
bodies. or anything
I don't,
there.
I'm going to want to jump ahead.
Well, you'll get there. We will
Okay.
get there. So,
I'm foreshadowing.
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, nothing against truckers, but I'm sure like sexy time items in the back of it.
It's not,
it gets
yeah,
lonely on the old road out
Yeah.
there.
you're right.
like a blow up doll,
Mm-hmm.
some other things. I don't know.
Yeah.
other
The
things,
truckers.
some creams and lotions.
Oh.
Well, that's the thing. Also, with the way he's getting away with this is not really getting away, because I think like truckers are like a cult type thing. I mean, you see these guys; they don't really bother each other or want to know what each other's up to. They kind of go in there, do their thing, and then hit the road.
But if you're watching Smokey and the Bandit, they're all good buddies. Like they
Right.
all talk, they all tell each
On
other.
the radio.
Yeah, they got a
Breaker 19.
Do you have his name, his handle he used?
no.
Whips and Chains.
Stop.
That was his handle.
Well, God damn it with your foreshadowing. So it is. We got to get back to this before this shadow goes away. So this broad, Shayna declined to press charges, knowing again she had no proof. It's he said, she said. However, later on, she had mentioned that. So this guy, we'll get to it. So we'll just say later on,
Okay.
she had mentioned that her real reason for not pressing charges was that she was fearful of retribution, having been stuck in the back in his sleeper part of that truck in the cab. So on to what you had said, Dave. Old Bobby Ben at one point admitted that he had gotten into BDSM back in the 80s. So BDSM is bondage, discipline, dominance, and submission, sadomasochism.
Okay.
This is not that
ASMR.
ASMR.
Right.
God, I'm going to remember that acronym one of these days.
ASMR.
It's
yeah.
definitely not that. So
No.
ultimately, what this girl would go on to say is that he'd converted the whole, which police would later find, he'd converted that whole sleeper cab section of his truck into his own little personal torture chamber.
Torture chamber, yeah.
See, that would have maybe helped with some of his marriages also. I'm sure like he went into these marriages and he pops out of a chest wearing like,
Like
leather
like
and
gimp outfit or
yeah,
something.
he got like his nipples chained to shit.
Oh,
and
like
she's like,
the average Joe's outfit that they originally got in mistake in Dodgeball.
yes,
Yes.
the average Joe's. So yeah, and I'm sure he like pops out with this, and the wifey's like, what's that? He's like, I thought you liked this, so I think there should have been more communication.
Yeah, you wonder like in a marriage, like how you ramp up to what steps you take to try to introduce that, because it's your thing. And this is this guy's thing to get off.
Mhm.
So you wonder how it progresses, if they go right into it or if it's kind of like little things and kind of feel it out, you know what I mean? But I can't imagine finding somebody.
You're not going from zero to whips.
Right.
You got to go little
Like
by
slowly.
little by little. Like maybe, a little spank here and there.
Right.
And then the spanks get harder. And then,
Who
you're
was the
building
killer?
up tolerance.
Yes, who was the killer that we had?
Toy box killer.
Yeah, the toy. He had his wife and
She was in on it.
in on it.
Now this
She
guy
was-
had an actual like landscaping looking. You ever see those landscapers carry those like
The trailers? Yeah.
Yeah. This guy
With
took.
tow behind trailer. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
this guy took like a trailer like that and converted it. I mean, he had money.
Yeah, he had money to put
like,
in
was it
this.
like 100,000 or something like
100,000
that
into it.
into this torture?
But he had
chamber.
like cameras. He had like dental chairs. He had
Mhm.
like anything you could think of to do like sort of weird ass torture shit. But his wife was the one that would help him get
Some weird ass torture shit.
Weird-
yeah to like bring these girls in. She was part of like the whole thing, and like they actually had underneath the bed they had like this section that they would put these girls in where they like had sex on top of the bed. Like she would just be under there, just having to take it.
That's some
Yeah.
fucked up shit.
Yeah, we,
That's
we,
some real shit.
we did that one like early on, and
Mhm.
we had Shallow Throat on, and he read the guy. Like you have to go back and if you haven't heard it, it's much like this story, but similar, very similar. Yeah, but this guy had a whole thing, man. It was crazy.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the one got away here, Sheena Holtz. Okay. The sleeper cab torture chamber. So his next victim in murder timeline order was 14-year-old Regina K. Walters. But her murder wasn't discovered until later. So according to an autopsy, she had been strangled to death sometime in early March 1990. So going through timeline again, in January, he did Douglas and Patricia. In February, he abducted 18-year-old Shayna, who got away. And now we're in March with Regina K. Walters.
There's a network show that I don't even know if it lasted long. I watched like the first couple. I'm not really a network show type guy, but Big Sky it was called, and it was very similar to this. A truck driver that was like a killer and all that, and it very much mirrors kind of what you're talking about here.
And he would also use pictures of his kid
Mhm.
that he would have like in his in his truck and
To
pictures
kinda
like
lure 'em in.
family photos and stuff. Like when you would pick up hitchhikers, they
Make
would come
him
in
look
there.
like a normal dude.
Oh, and he'd
And
be
his-
like, "Hey, this is my beautiful wife, and this is my son." You know,
His truck was really clean, they said.
He's
Yep.
a family man.
Mhm.
Yep. He always had a very clean truck and was well kept. Always, dressed well.
Yeah,
and
dressed
all
well.
that. Yeah. For that, just to put you at ease. Like, oh, this
Mhm.
guy couldn't be bad.
So I wonder if that's possibly just a, I don't want to say nervous reaction or something like that. That's the wrong thing to say. But I mean, when you're spending hours, and I mean days and weeks worth of hours in the same goddamn place, you're going to go one of two ways. You're either going to be a fucking slob,
Mm-hmm.
or you're going to keep that pristine and clean, just because keeping it clean, doing something is going to take your mind off of, fuck, I'm on the road.
Right.
Fuck, I'm a long haul trucker.
Mhm.
Fuck this, I don't like this. I wish I was home or something.
Right. Well, I can tell you with the job that I do, I have a vehicle that I use. It's not mine, but I use it every day.
Right.
And I treat it like my office. I keep it
Sure.
clean, pristine. I keep cleaning supplies in there. And then I do know people that don't keep it so clean. But you
Right.
can tell by how somebody keeps a lot of times how their house is and other things. It's, you know what I mean? So, I mean, but yeah, like you said, this guy, he could have been doing it for that reason, or maybe just to put people at ease. Like, I better just
Could be.
Yeah. So when they open the door, some of these trucks, I'm sure you open it, there's just like Slim Jims falling out of there.
Yeah. He was like, oh, I'll get the next
Just
one.
like dog shit.
Big gulps.
Empty. Yeah, I was gonna say empty cups, half-eaten hot dog.
Right.
Yeah, but even with prostitutes, I'm sure they see the inside of his truck and like, hey, I this is probably okay. The guy, he just wants what he wants and he'll be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love hot dogs, man.
Mm.
Goddamn. So,
2 for $1.
14-year-old. Oh, at the Sheets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 14-year-old Regina K. Walters. Again, according to the autopsy, she'd been strangled to death sometime in early March of 1990. Now, this one, not a lot lizard or not drunk. She'd gone missing since February 3rd, 1990. So she was away for a month and change. She'd actually run away from home with her then 20-year-old boyfriend, Ricky Lee Jones. So Regina, was found nude and badly decomposed on September 29th of the same year, 1990, in an abandoned barn near Greenville, Illinois. But what happened to her boyfriend, Ricky Lee?
Yeah.
They found a partial skeleton of Ricky Lee near Harleton, Texas on May 26, 1990. He'd been shot in the head.
Okay.
So here we are again. One body in fucking Greenville, Illinois, and another one in Texas, in Harleton, Texas.
Well, what he would do, I think he would dispose of the threat, which is the guy, the male
First.
Yep.
and he would get rid of them, shoot them, boom, get out of here, and then he would have the female to himself then, and like keep her captive. And
But just being on the
Things
like
like that.
the road like that, you don't even have to be clean about what you do because you can stop in the middle of the night. They're driving most of the time. There's
Just
nobody
kick 'em
out on,
out.
out on these roads. You're
Look,
just
not
throwing.
for nothing, man. Like, so I've stopped at even at those like rest areas because I'm always the one. Like, if I get to a different state or whatever, and I'm notorious for it. Like, I don't smoke in my car, but I of course smoke cigarettes. So I'll take that back. I don't, of course, smoke cigarettes.
Of course,
Of course, I smoke.
I do.
So I smoke cigarettes, but I don't smoke in my car.
right.
So if a few hours go by, I just besides get out of the vehicle, walk around for a little bit, I'll pull off at a rest stop, and all of them, not all, but so many of them are backed up by acres and acres and acres of woods.
Yeah, you would disappear.
Just woods.
Right.
Like, it's not hard to drag a body. Hell, throw it under some fucking leaves or some shit.
Mhm. And then you're on your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so hard to track these.
And not many people, because what you were saying, you don't really go out there because you don't know what's going on out there.
No.
So you stay in that little pull-off area.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do, take a piss, have a soda, look at the map. Do people look at maps anymore?
Back in the day,
Check your triptych.
back when he was active, you were.
It was all
Yeah.
maps. It was
Yeah.
all maps all day.
Yeah, but nobody wants to be in those areas, so
No.
because they just go.
I never feel comfortable like in an area I don't know, and especially in those rests at night, like he's talking about. If it's like late at night, you're in there, they're just sketchy feeling. You just never know. I guess
Mhm.
Back to the topic of truck stop. Nothing good is ever
nothing.
After
nothing
truck
good
stop.
is ever suffixed with or prefixed with truck stop.
Right,
Truck stop at night.
right.
Definitely.
Not good.
No, bad place to be.
Where I usually go on Saturdays.
Right.
So,
Where's Matt? He's at the truck stop again,
Yeah.
getting a hot dog,
yeah,
2 for $1.
or given
Yeah.
a hot dog. A month later, on April 1st, 1990, April Fool's Day, Bobby Ben's truck was found on the side of the road with its hazard lights on in Casa
Chica.
Grande,
Oh.
Casa Grande.
Arizona.
Now, was this his regular civilian truck, or was this his big
His
was
big
his
rig.
Big rig.
big rig? Okay.
Yeah.
This was the big rig record. This was, what's his name? Whips and Chains.
Yeah, Whips and Chains.
Whips and Chains was his handle.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Chains and Whips or Whips and Chains. It was one of those two. You know,
So-
like Rubber Ducky and I forget what movie that was. Chris Christopherson in it. It was
Chris
like-
Christopherson. Wow.
Yeah, he was in that. What movie was that? He was Rubber Ducky was his handle. We get on the radio. Nah,
Stars
it's gonna drive
Born.
me duck it. I'll look it up. I'm
No
a finger
clue.
box. I'm a finger box.
Wasn't he in Stars Born? Or is that not him?
He might have been. I don't know.
Chris Christopherson. He used to like write all kinds of good songs.
I never saw that movie. Is that the one with the dude from the A-Team and the chick who's the singer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the new one.
the Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
This one was
that's right.
Chris Christopherson and Yentl.
Whoa.
What's her name? Barbara Streisand.
Yentl. I was going to say, the only movie I know with her is Yentl.
Yentl. Yeah.
So, this truck's found pulled over on the side of the road with its hazard lights going. Now, note to self, don't turn your hazard lights on if you're on the side of the road and you're trying to avoid the police stopping to offer assistance.
Especially with a truck.
Right. Right.
So the movie was called Convoy.
Oh.
Oh.
Rubber Ducky.
Convoy.
Yeah, 1978.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I remember that,
That's
but
a
that
great
was his
song.
handle. Come in or Rubber Ducky. You know, I think it was just Rubber Duck. Maybe it says here. I always thought it was Rubber Ducky. Maybe they called him that during the movie. But anyway,
It's a great song.
yeah,
I want to have like a handle. That'd be cool.
yeah,
Be like Daddy Longstroke.
like Shallow Throat.
What? I don't understand a word you just said.
Shallow.
Yeah, that's a handle.
Yeah,
Shallow Throat. We can come up with something. Though.
So trucks pulled over. What? Go ahead. You use twos. Think about your handles.
No, what was there was one movie. Hold on real quick. It was called Candy Cane.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys-
Candy Cane. That was
Candy Cane. Yes.
Never saw it.
yeah.
That was a handle though.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good handle. My coffee cup has a handle.
Mm-hmm.
So dude's on the side of the road. An officer discovered. So cop pulls over. Sees again. Like, there's a big rig. You know, hazard
Four
lights
ways,
are on.
hazards,
Hazard.
blinking
Hazard.
away.
By its very nature, there is something wrong.
Right.
So officer pulls over and discovers Ms. Kathleen Vine in the back of his truck in the sleeper section, who was naked, handcuffed, and screaming.
Mm.
Immediately, Bobby Ben is arrested and charged with aggravated assault, sexual assault, and unlawful imprisonment.
So what was he sleeping? Also, was he just chilling and?
Or was he on or like messing around? Maybe?
So, from what I recall reading about this, officer, it's going to be one of, again, he's going to try that. What's her name had alluded to earlier, that
I paid
Shayna.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
a prostitute.
He's basically making up excuses like, oh, well, hey, look, man, we're all into this. This is just what we're into. Like, she's been, I paid her $20 to do this, and this is what she's into. And, oh, we're old friends or whatever.
Mhm.
But he couldn't convince the cop. Again, in the meantime,
Good job, cop.
well,
Yeah.
and again, in the meantime, this woman's in the back saying, this guy's understand that this truck is only so fucking big, right?
Right.
Like, it's not like she's on the other side of a house someplace.
You can hear. Yeah.
Yeah, she's right there.
Right.
Yeah. So this guy is arrested and charged with aggravated assault, sexual assault, unlawful imprisonment. His home, not his sleeper cab, but his actual home with, 4 walls and roof,
Right.
was later searched, and police found photos. So they found nude photos of the 14-year-old girl, Regina, the runaway,
Mm-hmm.
and they also found photos of Patricia Walsh, his first victim with Douglas, her husband Douglas. So they found the photos, and then this is in April. Her body, Patricia's body, was found later in October of that year.
Oh man. Now that girl, the girl that was 14, you said.
Yeah,
There is a photo online. I don't know if you came across it.
I did not.
It is so disturbing.
Is
Now,
her
it's not. It's
in
not.
the barn, the very
it's-
eerie one that's known.
It's a picture that he took right before he killed her, basically.
Yep.
And she's fully dressed and all that, but the fear in her eyes, and like you can just see in the picture. It's so
Like her hand is
yeah.
like trying to like she didn't like get away, like just stay away.
Or is it like help? Like
Yeah.
is it reaching out for help.
It was just it's one that if you Google it, I mean it's all over the place. But I will tell you, knowing what this guy did, it's sickening to see. And
especially, I mean, not especially, but like thinking of a 14-year-old in that situation, like what the fuck is happening? Like, where am I? What is going on? Is it a joke? Like, somebody stop.
Do you have anything about her dad, the phone call and all that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. So I was just going to go on to the conviction. So by all means, go right ahead.
Okay.
Like, so all I focused on was the actual kills. And,
right. That's good. No, that's fine.
anything involved with the police. But because you know how I get when it comes to alleged.
I know what you mean.
Or what the dude might claim just to sound like he's doing more shit than he really did, like to throw them off the case. But by all means, go right ahead.
So it was said that her father received a phone call from him and basically said, like, your daughter's in a barn tied up and this, that, and the other. And the father was like, is she alive? And he hung up. So the father got this call, I forget if it was like shortly after he actually did kill her. So he was like calling and taunting these people. And this girl was 14, I think 14, right? 14 or 15 years old.
14.
It's just so disturbing. This guy was sick. He was very sick.
And he like, I guess what Dahmer did the same thing with pictures, like wanted to keep a piece of, and he would also take clothing.
Fond memories.
Yes.
He would take pieces of clothing, or like if the lady had some sort of like undershirt or something like that,
he would take it with him.
He would keep that, and just like something he would smell and just to get that rush back, and then that's usually what turned him on and like I need to do it again.
And back to that third marriage that he was with that wife that he married, he was pushing her into the swinging lifestyle and all that. And there's
not just BDSM, but he was pushing her into the swinger.
Like multiple sex partners, these sex parties. He had there's a picture online as well when you Google this guy of him in this leather outfit with chains and stuff. And it was at a Halloween party, and she was like, I think like pulling him around with like a chain, like a dominatrix. And he was just way into that, but he was pushing her into like these group sex parties and this and that. And there was one where she was in a room. I guess he was trying to have her hook up with somebody, and she came out in the other room, and this Robert Ben Rhoades was on this guy's wife that was passed out, like trying to have sex with her. And she was like, what are you doing? This girl's passed out.
Right.
This and that. So this guy he's just so sick.
Only the awake ones. Only the awake ones, not the sleeping ones.
Yeah, like that's any better. But I mean, yeah, it was, and then she eventually, I guess, at one point she was gonna try these things to like make the marriage work, but eventually she just got fed up with it and was like, I'm done. And obviously they were done then. Yeah,
that's a weird habit, man. That's not something I don't think you can convince any fucking wife to get into. Any decent woman, you're not going to convince her to do that.
But now in today, I mean, if you are into that, there's, I'm sure, websites or places you can go to meet a nice wife who's into the same.
No, you just go to the grocery store. You get a pineapple and you turn it upside down in your grocery cart.
We just talked about that.
That's
actually just the other thing is, back to that. That's a good point, Matt. So I was wondering about that. Like, how did this guy, with what stuff that he was into, like, how did he find people? Because he was going to these parties and stuff with other people that were into it. I guess the way that they would kind of connect back then was through magazines. They had these magazines with like ads in the back.
Oh, sure.
Phone numbers and stuff, and like that's they would kind of connect that way before the internet, before you can now go on an app and find. And then there were bars and
it's like the PA musician if you're looking for like a vocalist, a bass player.
You can find each other, right?
Sure.
Or like a Boys Life magazine. You can get to the back and you could like build your own airplane.
Absolutely, you could.
You can order anything you needed.
There was one you could build your own robot. There was there was the one page where there was just tons of just dumb shit. Like it's
who was the boy that did the dumb shit? And there was a guy that was like always polite. Remember, you were in Scouts. There was.
What?
It was in Boys Life magazine. There was the one guy. He was like, "Don't be whatever." Like he would be.
Is this like a cartoon, like a comic strip?
Yeah, it was the comic strip that they had in there. Like the one guy was like very rude and obnoxious, and like don't do what he's doing. The other guy was like you'd see the old lady fell like with her groceries. He'd pick them up. And the other guy was like
kicking her.
Yeah, like let her be.
Taking her groceries.
Let's go. Take her groceries. I don't know. Somebody knows what it is.
I
You're
don't
out there
know.
listening.
I don't remember that at all.
That'll be in the mailbag.
Yes,
Someone can
mailbag
call me
it.
with that. But yeah, this guy was he was just like a piece of work.
He sure was. And the authorities thought so too. Because in 1994, Bobby Ben was convicted of first-degree murder of Regina K. Walters and sentenced to life without parole at Menard Correctional Center in Chester, Illinois.
And he's currently still there, I believe.
Indeed, he is in fact still there. He was, so that was 1994. More than a decade later, he was extradited to Utah in 2005 to be tried for the deaths of Patricia Walsh and her husband, Doug Zyskowski. However, the charges were dropped in 2006 so that the victims' families wouldn't be required to testify more than once. They'd already testified against this guy.
They didn't need to do it
when
again.
he was convicted in Illinois, and this guy's already got a life sentence.
Right, so you're just digging up old stuff.
That's right.
At that point.
However, there was a third time he was extradited. I'm sorry, a second time then he was extradited again, this time to Texas, for the murders of Regina Walters and her 20-year-old boyfriend, Ricky Lee Jones. He pled guilty in exchange for dropping the would-be death penalty and received a second life sentence.
Okay.
So, yes, he is currently rotting in prison with life without parole sentence in Menard Correctional Center in Chester, Illinois.
And is this for three murder convictions?
Right.
And then what is another word for that?
Alleged.
Double jeopardy?
No.
Instead of alleged.
Alleged, they're saying up to what? 40, 50 plus?
So Rhoades is suspected.
There it is.
Suspected, thank
There
you.
we go.
He is suspected of torturing, raping, and killing more than 50 women.
Okay.
Over 15 years?
About 15 years, between 1975 and 1990.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just based on, so they have, like we talked about earlier, like there's routes, and, if you're driving for a company or whatever, like they're going to know where the hell you went.
Right.
So based on his routes and women that had gone missing, like you can just
Put the two together.
put the two maps together. The chocolate meets the peanut butter. All of this sudden, hey, this guy, this guy was here when these women were either again raped or went missing or were found dead, and there you have it.
What he just talked about is they also said that he was part of like a management team. So sometimes he would take on routes of people that were sick or whatever. So he'd jump on that route. He'd tell whenever he was married or whatever, like, hey, I got to hit the road. Guy called in. That's what I do.
Right.
So there was some times where they didn't quite know what his routes were because it wasn't a regular run route. He would take somebody else's route.
He was throwing him off his trail.
Yeah, and because I think he was like a salary type employee, that he would run these routes and he would just take them on. They wouldn't have it like in the system as in.
Yeah, like you could look back. You could look back at the log for that week or that month or whatever. Oh yeah, that was Joey Schleprock's route. He must have driven it that day because he's scheduled to be on that. Like we never indicated that he was sick that day or that he didn't, or somebody else, in this case, Robert Ben did it. Right.
Or they sent, the one guy took that route, hey, I'm here already. I'll run that. And then he'll jump in and go somewhere else, but they don't have that on the whatever the log.
There's probably a lot of paper
Not that I have a log.
Right. Probably a lot of paper records back then. So it was a lot of stuff probably got lost or, not kept, like you said, accurately. Yeah, so Michael Shealy, he was a special agent with the Illinois State Police. He made a comment. He was the most evil person he's ever come across, and he said he's come across a lot of evil people in his career with the Illinois State Police. He was a special agent there, kind of like these crimes and stuff like that. He said this is the worst guy, the most evil guy. I mean, to do something like that to another human being and that be your turn on, but that's most of these people. I mean, that's Dahmer. That's all. That's how they get off. It takes that, and you wonder what triggers that. Crazy.
Damn.
No, it was just a messed up story. The only thing that out of all this that I found like truly haunting is the picture of the girl that he was taking, like right there, and just the look. And like I said, it's all over the internet.
This is the part where you in any other circumstance, I got to go check that out. But immediately I think, no, I don't think I want to see that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, if you even Google his name, it's going to come up.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the top images. Like I said, that one with his bondage outfit, and then the girl's picture comes up.
Yeah.
And then there's two other pictures that come up of his mug shots, and his eyes are always like squinty and weird.
like
Yeah.
just
He was a ratchety looking dude, man.
He definitely was, yeah.
Yeah.
but he did bad things.
He did bad things,
Yeah.
and he remains in prison.
Yep.
And that's all I got on Robert Benjamin Rhoades.
Well, thanks, Zap. Thanks for taking the reins on that and researching it. I mean, I had seen and heard stuff on him before, and I just thought it was much like the what was the guy we talked about? Oh, Toy Box Killer.
Mm.
It was very similar.
Apparently, I don't spend enough time at truck stops because
Right.
I never heard of this guy.
The Truck Stop Killer.
Truck
yeah.
Stop Killer.
Well, I don't think they'd be advertising it.
Was
Stop
there-
in here. We had
Right,
we
he
had
was
Robert
here.
Ben Rhoades.
He signed the wall, like
Yeah.
the bathroom. Yeah.
So I was talking to a buddy of mine actually on the way here. Is there a local truck stop killer? Like somebody might have gotten killed like
Yes.
on 39
Yes.
or someplace, or
There was a killer that wasn't. I don't think he was local here, but he had stopped at that area of 39, and had there was neighborhoods right there by these truck stops,
Yeah.
not more than half a mile up.
sure.
And he went and kind of crept through these yards, and I believe it was a female that was out on the phone with somebody, and this guy, while she was on the phone, I believe this is how the story went, he murdered her. Somebody knew something was wrong on the other line, and when they got over there, I checked it out. She was murdered. No motive. They're like, what could this be? Like,
Yeah,
this is
made
just
no
so
sense.
random, blah, blah, blah. Well, they come to find out they're investigating these other murders. This guy was like basically on the road. I don't know if he was a truck driver. He might have been though, and he was just killing people, but like one after another. Nothing like this with the sex part of it. It was just like murdering people,
like
Yeah.
stab or
Right.
Wow.
Because I think on that phone they actually have I don't remember if they had the phone call or they were talking, but they could hear like the struggle and all that. It was very disturbing. But that was locally here in Harrisburg. And actually, there's a good show called The Coroner that we talked about before.
Yeah, that's
with the Graham Hedrick.
Graham Hedrick. Yep.
That is an episode on there
Oh,
because they had went to investigate the crime scene. I believe that was on The Coroner. So
what did they? Is he like 39 Route 39 killer or what do they call him?
you know what? I'm not sure, but that was one of the.
What was this case solved? Did
Yes, they got the guy.
Oh, okay.
They caught him like down south somewhere, I believe, and they connected it. And it was maybe a few years ago. I mean, it was within, I would say probably within 10, 15 years. So it was in the time of like news travels a lot faster, you know what I mean? Digitally, like the internet and everything like that. So I think they were able to connect the dots quicker than maybe back then with this guy.
Yes.
So, but
thank you, Al Gore, for inventing the internet.
yeah, right.
Fantastic job.
Right. But so I don't know what we'll be back with next week.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned on that one. I wanted to do one on that one priest that was like did all those exorcisms.
Oh yeah, you did mention that guy.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Father Guido Sarducci.
Yes.
Oh.
30, 40,
From SNL.
50 miracles to their name.
Yeah. What's that from? Is that SNL? Sarducci?
SNL,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Father
yeah.
Guido
was, that was
Sarducci.
Dan-
He had the shades and stuff.
Yeah.
Was that
Must
Bill?
have-
That was Bill Murray.
No. It was a random dude. It wasn't
Father
Bill
Guido
Murray.
Sarducci.
Yeah, Father Guido Sarducci.
I thought it was Bill
He's
Murray.
like, no, it was not Bill Murray. He's like some Italians got 30, 40, 50 miracles to their name, and they don't make them a saint. Americans got one miracle, they make them a saint. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yeah, look him up. It was some random from the 80s.
Oh, he's
damn
busy.
it.
Well, okay, look. Well, let's wrap this up and
Yes,
we'll find Guido
yeah.
Sarducci.
Okay. Yeah. So at any rate, I don't know what the true crime will be next week because this will be airing after, I think, our wrestling thing.
Yeah.
And we plan on doing a wrestling crime. So, I don't know what we'll be back with next week.
Yeah,
but
stay tuned, brother.
Stay tuned. It's always something good. You know that in the basement.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, looky here.
So
Murder, mystery, mayhem.
anything else in closing, guys?
I got nothing.
Got nothing.
Without question, I have a deep and profound respect for long haul truckers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are, the lifeblood of commerce in America. But I got no respect for this piece of shit,
I agree. Yep.
for this quack.
Yeah.
Yep.
What Zap said, there is a lot of good truckers and people like that out there. But if you are at a truck stop, I mean, they're running kids, and just be careful. Like, don't hang out there for fun.
Watch
I
your
would say.
back and wear condoms.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but
Yep.
they're like trafficking. There's a lot of like they're taking.
And their bathrooms are
Girls
always
and-
bad. And that's why I said
Yeah.
truck stop, anything's bad. But I will tell you from experience, they're bad. At least the one out here is bad. Just like wet and dirty. And it's just a bad bathroom.
Like our basement.
dank.
Yes, it's an old dirty bathroom.
An old dirty
yes.
bathroom.
Yeah,
Nice.
avoid it like the plague. But thanks.
Or you'll get the plague.
You might. It might come back.
The itchies.
Yep. Thanks again to Zach for writing that up. Matt for the humor and adding that stuff in. And I guess we'll be back next week with a new true crime. Don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement, on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. And we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.